I am starting this vlog. It's the first time I've ever done a vlog. First time I'm really in front of a camera. So it's very exciting, but it's a bit daunting, to be completely honest. I am an introvert. I do not like to be in the spotlight too much. And I want to be, but at the same time, I want to be somebody that helps people and teaches people with whatever I can. And this is my attempt to get out of my comfort zone and really put something forward that can help people. So what I'm going to do is I'm gonna document my journey from working within the charity sector and going into tech. So I am now enrolled in a 4-month boot camp to study front-end development. And I have no prior coding experience. I don't know, a few months ago I didn't know really what HTML was really all about. I don't really have that kind of background. However, I have been building websites since 2020 and I've been using no-code builders to do so. And whenever I've needed any kind of code or HTML or CSS or anything code related, I've had to ask other people. And that has worked, but I really wanted to get into understanding like what's under the hood and of the website, like how do I actually the website work. And so I'm starting with front-end development to look into how I can use that to further my career into the tech industry. And ultimately because I want to be somebody that creates something new, and I'm really interested in tech, and I want to understand how to build websites and to help my own business and to help others as well. And so come with me on this journey. I've now already been a week into this boot camp that I'm taking into front-end development. It's a 4-month boot camp, 16 weeks, and it's already been quite a lot of things to learn and get my head around. And this week has been like a setup week, so we're setting up all the tools that we need to actually create websites and connecting different, like connecting your computer to something called GitHub, where you can put all your folders and all your work, your code, so that you can collaborate with other people on the same code. And for many of my fellow students, this has been a challenge because it's not easy to connect these your local computer to this storage folder up in the cloud. So yeah, it's been quite an intense week, and we have a challenge, so we need to submit, and so I'll talk about that in a minute. But my vision for this is to document my journey and to share whatever I'm learning. So I'm gonna be talking like this, and I also want to create these like tutorials, short tutorials and tips as I am learning them myself. So watch out for those as well. There are 3 things that I think I want to talk about in this vlog. That's a little bit about my background, where I come from, and what I'm thinking about doing with all of this. So let's start with that. So I've been working in the charity sector, and I have been working with the elderly, and I've been working with the homeless, and I've always been very eager to help people. That's really where all the work that I've done has been because of that. But I also have found that I wanted to do, something creative and be somebody that creates new things, create new things and to be useful in that way. Because I do find myself being creative throughout my my work uh, and my personal lives as well. And it has kind of gone into tech, right? But I've never really studied tech or done anything, uh, in terms of education. Um, so uh, when I really dug deep into what I really wanted to do with my rest of my life, I found that I have two passions. That is to help people, and the other thing is to create new things, be creative. And I've started. We started a business together, me and my wife. Uh, that's a whole other story. I'm going to talk about it a bit, um, a bit later on. But I've really found that through business, I was able to get that outlet, for being creative, doing all kinds of marketing, graphics. But I've never really studied these things, just been doing them. So now is the time to really study something concrete. And I've chosen front-end development. And that's what I'm going to be studying now for the next 4 months. And I'm very much looking forward to that. It's going to be awesome. So, my thoughts about the boot camp. I have it's been a week now, and it's been quite intense. That's the first week even. So I'm just looking forward to getting more familiarize myself more with everything. It's interesting. There's two aspects really. Like I'm really interested in understanding, who everybody else is and what their motivations are, and learning how to collaborate with them. And so that's going to be quite exciting. And then my strategy for the boot camp. So the way that I figured it out now is that every week we'll go through these tasks that are provided, but these tasks are not being graded, or they're not being assessed by anybody. But you are expected to do them, at least one of them. But because it might be a task that requires collaboration with your fellow students, so it's important to do them because you want to not just learn how to do the task, but also collaborate with people. And that's what I will try to focus on, of course. And then there's the challenge, which you do have to submit. And you get the challenge made available to you about, I think, 2 weeks in advance. So I'm gonna focus on these two things. Do that last task that doesn't have to be submitted, but make sure that I understand it. And if it's a group task, then work on that with somebody. And then as I'm doing that, I'm going to be focusing on the challenge and not just let that be at the end, because they will be announced every Friday what the challenge is, but you have access to it 2 weeks in advance. So yeah, I don't know, this is probably going to change, but the most important thing is to work on the challenge that you have to submit. So I'm gonna work on that. I've already started working on the first challenge, and I've been trying to ask others for help with that, and that some have been working on it, some haven't. So that's a really good way to kind of understand a little bit more about what the task involves and how to go about doing it. So yeah, that's really it for this, my first vlog. So thank you so much for watching, and I'm gonna be trying to do it a little bit better every time and learning how to do a vlog, and that comes to my other thing, my schedule. So how am I gonna do my schedule? Because I actually have my son that I take care of in the daytime, and then in the evenings I do this class, and I have to be very good at time management with this class. So that's something I'm gonna look into, like a little bit more, how I'm gonna do this as the time progresses and I get more familiar with how things work with the class. I'll be able to set up the appropriate times to do things and what I need to do. Yeah, I'll keep you posted about that. All right. Yeah. Well, one thing that I wanted to ask you guys, how do you think working with somebody in a boot camp like this as an adult versus somebody in a school as a teenager or a young adult, how does that compare to work with those people that really want to be there in a boot camp, people that don't want to be in those schools? So yeah, let me know in the comments. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Oh, freezing, isn't it?